Today, we're kicking things off with a really fascinating idea about wealth.
Right. It's not the usual definition, is it?
No, not at all. Our source suggests that a key part of being wealthy is actually being honest. Honest with yourself.
Which sounds, well, simple perhaps, but it's quite deep. It's less about your bank account and more about your internal state, your self-awareness.
Exactly. So our goal today is to sort of unpack that. How does our internal chat, the way we talk to ourselves, shape our view of things and where we end up?
Yeah, how that dialogue really directs us.
Okay, so let's jump into an example from the source. Picture this. Someone just got fired. A tough situation, obviously.
Definitely.
And the source points out two totally different ways that person might react internally. One way is, pretty defeatist.
Yeah, I knew it. I can't do anything right kind of thinking.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, the world's out to get me. It's a real spiral downwards, isn't it?
It absolutely is. A dead end, really. But what's so striking is the alternative reaction the source highlights.
Right. The other path.
Where the person sees the exact same event getting fired completely differently.
Oh, so?
They might think, okay, this is tough, but maybe it's a chance for something better or a new start. Maybe even just time to figure things out.
So the event itself hasn't changed one bit. Still fired.
Precisely. The external reality is identical, but that internal conversation, the advice you give yourself, that changes everything.
Your mood, your mindset.
Your whole outlook.
Yeah.
And likely what you actually do next. It really shows what the source calls the incredible power of the mind.
That really hits home. But let's be honest, accessing that kind of, honest perspective when you're feeling low, like after losing a job, that's hard, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly challenging.
The source frames it like a choice, but it doesn't always feel like a choice in the moment. What does that self-honesty truly look like then? Is it just forcing yourself to be positive?
That's a really important question. And no, it's not about just slapping on a happy face or ignoring the negative feelings. The source isn't saying it's easy. It's more about acknowledging the feeling, letting yourself feel angry or upset or scared, without letting that feeling totally define the narrative.
So acknowledge it, but don't get stuck in it.
Exactly. True self-honesty means seeing the reality, okay, I feel awful about being fired, and also looking for other truths, and I also know this gives me time to maybe explore that side project or learn that skill I've been putting off.
Ah, I see. So it's like observing your first reaction, that maybe defeatist thought.
Right, observing it without judgment, and then consciously, deliberately, choosing a more constructive way to frame it, a way that, opens doors instead of closing them.
Okay, so it's not forced positivity. It's more like a clear-eyed look at the whole picture, the bad and the potential good. It creates a kind of freedom, doesn't it?
It really does, a freedom from being completely ruled by that initial emotional reaction.
And you, the listener, can probably see how this applies way beyond just big setbacks like losing a job. Think about maybe trying to learn something new, a language, an instrument.
Yeah, something challenging.
Right. The dishonest track might be, I'm just terrible at this, I'll never get it. And that keeps you stuck.
Whereas the honest approach might be, okay, this is difficult, I'm finding it hard, but I'm learning. If I keep at it, I'll improve. It acknowledges the struggle, but focuses on the process and the potential outcome.
It changes the energy completely. So bringing this all back to the idea of wealth, what this deep dive seems to show is that the same event, the same external circumstances, can lead to completely different outcomes, different personal realities.
All depending on that internal honesty.
Yeah.
On the story we tell ourselves. It really highlights how much power our minds, our internal dialogue, truly have.
It's immense and often, I think, quite underestimated in day-to-day life. How we navigate challenges, how we define success, even our sense of well-being or wealth.
It really reframes the whole concept.
It does. And maybe that leads to a final thought, something for you to consider.
If practicing this kind of self-honesty, this shift in internal conversation, can turn something like being fired from a perceived disaster into an actual opportunity. Well, how could you apply that right now?
Apply it to current situations.
Yeah. What challenges or, things you see as failures or limits are you facing?
Yeah.
And what new possibilities, what different path towards your own version of wealth might open up if you started changing that internal conversation?
It's like building a different kind of muscle, isn't it? A mental one.
Exactly. A muscle for growth, for seeing potential, rather than just reacting to whatever life throws at you. It's a powerful idea to mull over.